Hi guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Ansible network modules. Ansible network modules can configure your network state, test and validate existing network state, and discover and correct network configuration drift. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of Ansible will be absolutely clear to you. This series divided into multiple parts, therefore subscribe to the channel and follow the playlist.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOpsSchool certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
So what's next is something, so we need to discuss it. And here okay, this is actually I thought of teaching you this is because this is something you need to learn right away. Then we can go ahead with the next thing. I'll try to teach it from the module session, then you can understand clearly. We'll go with the same regular copy module or fetch or file or something. So it is like totally your call between. So uh, so you need to remember what are the attributes of string, the type of attributes, the parameters. So what happens is like, uh, see, if you see here, you will not be able to use a different. Suppose it's a Boolean thing. You will not be able to use string. Then that is like completely you're giving the total parameters there. So how do you give the parameters to something? You could just find an example down here. Here, what happens is that the first thing what is happening is it is copying the file with the owner and permission. So it is like you're giving the owner name, you're giving foo, and you're giving the group ID, and this is the mode is something the permissions of the file, like what a six double. You have an idea about the permissions, right? 777, 644, and 655 kind of things.
Yes.
Okay. And next one is you are just giving a symbolic representation of it. So this is all basic habit use, but if there is something different, what difference goes is something. If you are using it, suppose this is like you're adding a sudo file. So what is the sudo? Who is the sudo is something who can carry the root privileges. You have created admin account, right? If I'm not wrong. So you have created admin account. So what happens there is you can use sudo command and you could carry out the options.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, that is a user.
Yeah, that's all. He is a user. I'm just trying to. So this is the fire. If you face the issue, just make sure sudo ufw allow port 22. This would directly go ahead and allow the port 22 access for it. And next we will talk about basic. Okay, let me just explain the few things on here. So while calling the commands, you have Ansible hyphen. The first one is it shows that you can select your own local inventory. Apart from the one which is already default. And next one you can use -m is something you select the module. Okay. And in the same way, see what happens is when you try to run the module, you will not be able to run it because you do not have a root privileges. So what can you do is you can use -b, which actually what it makes you use. You can become someone, like become a sudoer or something. become a just -b. You need to add -b. You don't need to add anything there, where you will be able to execute the command.
So basically, that parameter -b is it's a basically pseudo user.
Yep, that's all. So let's see here. One of it gives you permissions to be a user who can execute the commands. So if you try
Okay.
to be user, if you try to be root or something like that, so let's see. I'll just type the command for you. So suppose I'm trying to do just local command. I'm trying to run Ansible Live local host, and I'm just trying to ping local host, and I'm using -m module ping here. Ping works fine because what happens is just a basic ping, right? You will be able to connect.
Right.
But if I want to install something, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not I'm using app library, okay, and I'm using attributes. -a gives for attributes. So what are the attributes you might be using? First one is name. What is the package I want to install? Okay. So what is the package I want to install? I want to install Apache 2. Just think about it. Then next, what the parameter you need to give is like what is the status of it? Install,
Okay.
because I want it to be installed, right? So that is the status of it. And you could go ahead and directly now it wouldn't work because I don't know. I'm not the user who can make it work. So what happens is you can directly go ahead and you can add -b in here. This would make you a root. This would give you a root privilege user, and where you will be able to install Apache. So in this case, it is not working because you know what was the issue. But so if there is an error here, you would directly see that it says localhost failed because unsupported parameters for app modules that supported parameters include low unauthentic. So this is something which we can give. If there is no such, we could do like you could do a low unauthenticated is something for you would run like this. Suppose app update hello. Then this would do that. This would what it makes sure is something. It will download the packages which are not authenticated also. That also can be done. So that's what the parameters you might want to use.
Sorry, why you're going to download this module? Update allow unauthenticated. What is the
This
purpose?
one, this one,
Right, this one.
this one. I'm just showing you that what you can do with this. If you see the unsupported parameters status, so
Okay.
what is I'm just trying to show you that what is the thing. Okay. Should be state. My bad. This should be state. So these are the things which you actually use. That's all. So if I already have the Apache 2, see if it says false because if I might have already Apache 2. Just let's see. You see, so I do not have the Apache 2, but still it says. And if you want to remove anything, if you want to suppose, or if you want to uninstall it, if you want to uninstall or something, you could do absent. It will directly go ahead and uninstall it. Or if you want to pull the latest one, and you could do latest. So these are something if you see here, fixed latest present. This is about installing the module. This is like I'm using an app module to install Apache 2, and the state is latest. So for you, when you're trying CentOS, you use YAM module because CentOS supports YAM, and you could use name as HTTPD because that is the Apache server in there. And state you could put latest or present. Or you could try installing and uninstalling it from the command line itself, where you will have a certain like access to it, and you would understand what it actually does on screen itself. And next we have another thing. So it's like forks. So what are forks? Forks are something the simultaneous programs. What is like if I put F and I can put 10, what happens is at the same time the 10 different processes will run. that is called forking on a system. So you could put F, and if you give multiple lines in here, suppose multiple installations there, if you use the F10, it would go ahead and run on spot, like all installations will be done at the same time. Nothing like usually what happens is it would be done one after the other. If you have normally when you try to install something, what happens is it will try to install one after the other. But in this case, if you use fork, it will install directly. So you understood clear now, till now?
Yes. Okay.
So if you have any doubts on it, just let me know. This practical thing, what will do is I will create now playbooks and something. We'll work on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says we tried to run actually. What happened was I have to get why the install applies to fail because the package was interrupted. Okay, so this happened because I tried to apt update, but it failed. I interrupted in between, right? So that happens. So this is something, this error, you would see if this error occurs that there is a server issue in your server. There was a server issue where you will not be able to run via Ansible. You have to log into your system and use sudo dpackage configure a and run it. So what it does is something, this is like a Linux thing, you don't need to bother about it. So it actually downloads the missing packages and corrects any packages. Yeah. And okay, so till now you're clear, right? So next we'll start about what else is left from yesterday. So do you remember what we have discussed? Like what are the next classes we need to do?
Maybe no.
Okay, so that's right. So let me just quickly. I have the picture, I guess. Modules I have informed the shell and command modules. Okay, so now we have done with understanding modules, right? We'll do shell and command modules. So you might get a good picture on how shell and command modules work. And after that, we'll see. Okay, we didn't do the setup thing. Okay, I'll just show you. What happens is you can directly pull either your next, like suppose you're trying to use some other server. You could directly pull all the details from it. See. So if you see, I just run. What did I run? If you remember the command, I have run Ansible localhost yum apt. I became a user. I used the argument. I asked Nginx say to be latest. Install the latest version of Nginx. You scroll down. It went and installed the latest version of Nginx. So how do you know that it installed? You will see localhost change. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So what happened with the port 22 was I think it got configured now. It took time, but so that's how you configure the port. And this is now because it's already configured, we'll run some more things. Now I have installed Nginx, right? Latest. Now I don't want. I want to delete it. I want to uninstall it. You could do state absent and press enter. It would go ahead and uninstall from the local host. See, the local host is the current system which I'm using. It would directly go ahead and uninstall it. So if you see, it's successful. It says localhost changed true. What it done is something zero. The following packages will be removed, and it uninstalled Nginx. So one remove and not remove. It uninstalled everything, and nothing is here right now. It's done. As I said, you could use -10 as well, and you could use multiple things. Now I'm again using absent. Nothing changed because I have already uninstalled it, right? So
Right.
there is nothing, there is no change. So it says nothing is changed, it's false. So that's how you run all the commands. Suppose, see here, as we already discussed, we can create multiple groups, if you remember. So what happens is here you can update the groups as well. So you can update the groups. So like you are creating a CentOS, right? So I can use CentOS, but at the same time, I could directly ping use my local inventory because the other inventory doesn't have the file. So and inventory. And you do try to ping google.com, but what happens is Google doesn't allow 22, so that is we will get the error. Yeah. So this is where I'm pointing out my local inventory file. So when you create local inventory file, you need to point out the local inventory file to Ansible so that it can use it. It will replace the current Ansible config file. You remember?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Just type Ansible config there. If you see, it says all the in the config file, what are the things you'll be able to edit and what was created, what options you can do. So that's till now. So we'll start off with the next session. You're clear till now, right? So the other thing also, it worked fine. I think you will be able to practice it now.
As already told you that I will try on my my CentOS server. Then maybe if there is an issue, then I will contact you.
Yeah, okay, sure. So we'll talk about now the command line, command line commands. You're free, right? I could go ahead with the class.
Yes, we can go.
Yeah, sure. So what are the command line instance? We just saw how to work on command, right? If you just check, we know how to work on the command line. Now what we are going to do is something. We will make sure we will try to run everything on the command line, as well as we could see the raw commands like on the target host. Suppose so like this command. So let me just open the command. So what happens is, what I'm doing is I'm directly targeting the local host here. Okay. So the this can be considered the shell command and the command module. At the same time, I'm using the command module as well and targeting the local host. Now, what happens is the command module is actually the default module in Ansible ad hoc. So when you don't specify any other module, it takes the local command module. The primary reason is something, the shell module is like when you use both shell and command, there is an overlapping. Like what happens is shell module will be used over the command module when you do an input output direction. You are getting the point, right? I'm just giving you an overview on it so that we can go ahead and try doing the next talk. You're understanding it, right?
Yeah, I'm understanding.
Okay. So let's try Ansible localhost, the same thing, localhost, and we'll give attributes like what the command what I want to give is local shell command. I just want to create one file. Okay, where I want to create in home, or else we'll go to temp, and I'm creating some file. Okay, so this is the command I'm giving to create a file. Let's just click on enter. So what happens is something. If you see, it went and created the file. So you just ignore the warnings or something. You can ignore it right now. If you go to temp, you will see we created a file. Okay, this was created now. So this is what happened. Did we specify any module here? If you see here clearly, we did not specify a module here. I did not specify a module, but what I done is I have just run my basic shell commands inside. I'm just using my shell command as an argument in the Ansible. Right. You are getting the point, right? So what happens is the shell command is directly used than picking up a module. So this
Right.
is this way you could use Ansible to run a general shell commands as well, like copying a file or moving a
Basically,
file
you
or
can run
adding something.
and you can run some commands on direct CLI or on shell interface.
Yes. So it would directly go ahead and create a temp file. That's all.
Yes, right.
You then you could run any other commands as well if you want to. For example, if you want to run something like any removing a file or deleting a file, it's your call. So like I could add notes also, like creates a temp file. I could directly go ahead and add here that it creates temp file. So it says skipped because temp file already exists.
Right.
Now what I want to delete it. Okay, rm is a command to delete. What happens is something. What it does here is something. It removes file. You could write removes. Then it removes the temp.file. And you could do enter. And if you see screen now, says change as is 0. That means it is removed. You do not have the file anymore. If you want to see the changes which you have done in temp, if you see it just here, you do not have a file. Just before we checked that there was a file. Right, the file was there, but it is not here.
So actually, can you go to the previous command?
Which one?
Okay. So mention RM is for remove and slash
Yeah,
temp. Temp is a folder and file is the name. Okay. And
yeah.
again, you are mentioning the
This one.
variable attributes.
Remove.
Removes and then
Oh, temp file. Yeah. So what it is something. It just to let you know that what it does. That's all. That's like I'm giving a description to it. Ignore it. That doesn't make any sense. Hello.
yes, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So I might have missed your voice, so that is why.
No, sure.
So this is something. Even if you don't use create as well, it will go ahead and create the file, and it will go ahead and skip the file. So now if you see, we have created the file, and if you see .temp, and if you just go back, see if you see file, it was just created at 18 at 6 o'clock in IST.
Ashish, the question is that basically you're using touch. Touch is a module, right?
No, that is a general command.
General command.
Yeah,
Okay.
shell command.
Can you show me
Yeah, I'll
that?
explain from first, like clearly. See, in Ansible, until and unless you point -m, you're not using any module.
Okay,
-m says
right.
that you're using module. Here, what I'm doing
Okay,
is I'm telling Ansible. See, I'm Ansible, right? What I'm telling, just consider I'm Ansible. I'm telling my local host, okay?
okay,
I'm telling Ansible to go to local host, and my attributes are run this command, run the basic shell command first.
okay.
And what it does, creates temp file. I'm telling Ansible that it is creating a temp file.
Actually, the confusing thing is that you're using two time temp and then file. Okay, so basically when you're
Okay.
saying touch and then again temp and file, and after creates you're using again temp slash file.
Yeah, that is something to tell Ansible that I'm creating a file. There is nothing compulsory that you need to use it. You could, so for suppose I'm not using it now.
Yeah.
Run it.
Okay.
If I have
Okay.
run it again, I'm not using it.
Yeah.
It says changed. It went and created. See that?
Okay.
So if you see see there is a file.
Yes.
So nothing. That is like it just make sure that the file is there. It creates is something. It will if there is no file, it will create. You know the rsync in the basic command rsync in shell. You have an idea?
Uh, Maybe can you show me, then maybe I can.
Yeah, I'll tell you what is happening here exactly. So, for example, I'm using touch temp file. Okay, touch temp file. Then what it is doing is something. It is going and creating a file. It doesn't check if the file is there or not. Okay. If the file is there, it will replace it. You understood?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. So now if I'm using create temp file, what is happening there is something. It is just telling Ansible that if there is a file, you create it. If there is no file, you create it. Okay. If there is a file, skip it. Now there is a file. What is that? Skip, since temp file already exists. The same command, if I remove this, still creates, and if I run again, touch temp file, and if you see what happens here is it's changed. It says it's created again. It has created the file again. It replaced the file. Understood now?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So that is happening here. That's all.
Okay.
You could use removes in the sense now we could use I use touch, right? Now we can use RM. Yes, clear. And you could use RM, and you directly go ahead and delete the file. Yeah, you delete it. And now it is already, now there is no file, we already know. But still, if I run it again, what happens is, yeah, it says no such, it is giving you and failed error. This is considered as a fatal error. So if you do not want to see this fatal errors anymore, just add removes temp file. So this is something, if you are trying to run everything from a script case, you would be okay that because in a script, what happens if you see any fatal error, the script would exit. It will not run the next line. But in this case, if you use the same command I have added removes and I use temp and file, now it says skip because it does not exist. This is not an error. You got the difference in between two?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So I'm moving on to the next. Now we'll create a file and we'll try to write something in the file. I have created a file now. Then you know how to write something in the file via, what do you call, in the command line?
I think using some commands like VIA, notepad, or note editors.
Yeah, you can use note editors, but that can only be done from the screen itself, right? So what happens?
Okay.
What you can do is
Okay, you want
you
to
can
manually
do
add some contents on that file. Okay.
from the command line itself. So how are
Yeah.
we doing is, suppose I'm just adding the path. Okay.
Right.
What I'm path to the temp file I have created. Now what it should do, it should go ahead and write something in the path. Okay. Now if I see file, there is nothing there. So it should append the local, just ignore path because I didn't run any path. So echo hi, and I would use my screen. Man. So I thought let's see. So it should run the command and go ahead and insert something there. But what happened was it didn't. What was the issue? It says that there is no file or nothing. But this can be ignored because Ansible command only works. You should if you are using any echo command or something like that, you can cat it again. So this is the simple file for you to write. I have entered the hi, but there is no hi appended to it, if you see. So what happens? What is the error here? Can you try guessing it? What is the error?
Thanks for watching. To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.